This is the country that we're living in, and the status quo is not working anymore. Politics as usual is not working anymore. DC behaving like DC is not working anymore.
Who is going to take our country back in Washington, D.C. A man with a great name, one of my own, Matthew Lucci, right here in the corner in Green Bay.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, heading out to Mineral Wells to see our people. Mr. Lucci, say hi.
Hello.
Mr. Lucci. Yay.
Get your crazy here, you'll be all right. Stop by.
One of the things that I don't know what some people are calling VA reform, and what I'm calling every veteran should be able to get health care at any clinic anywhere in the country without having to go to the VA and stand in line or put your name on a list for 6 months to 6 years.
2.5 years waiting on surgery.
I mean, I know veterans, including, Sean, he was stationed on the southern border. My campaign treasurer was one of the first Army Rangers, and he doesn't even go to the VA. He's like, I will pay for health care, and he's in a position where he's able to. But it's a lot better to just get private health care than it is to wait for the VA. If you're on VA benefits and you get injured when you're visiting your grandkids in Illinois, Wisconsin, whatever, you have to come back here to get your care. When you should be able to just get a VA card, walk into a VA anywhere in the country, or a local clinic, private, public, whatever. Show your card, get your care, walk out, not have to worry about paying.
Wait till Biden gets that off, and it'll go back.
I like that mindset.
Appreciate you guys. I'm Matthew Lucci. I'm running for Congress in the 25th U.S. House District here in the great state of Texas. I was born the second of 7 kids, a lifelong Texan. I was raised in a little town in Johnson County called Venus, Texas. My mom was a preschool teacher, and my dad was a delivery driver. We didn't have a whole lot growing up, but my mom poured everything that she had into our education by homeschooling me and all 6 of my siblings. When I went to college, I worked 3 jobs and tutored on the side just to make ends meet. And when I graduated with my degree at SMU in mechanical engineering, I went on to get a master's at the University of Texas at Tyler. In order to pay for that, I worked on an assembly line in an HVAC factory, which ironically didn't have air conditioning.
This is the Snooze late morning show on Ridru Radio, home of the underground. We are doing episode 53 today, and we're here with Mr. Sean Goins, the campaign manager for Matthew Lucci. Welcome on.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you on today. Tell us about the other guy real quick.
I won't say too much. His name's Roger Williams. He's been in politics 40 years, Congress for 12. The only thing he's ever passed is renaming a post office in Burleson, and he voted against the border wall in 2019.
Interesting. Okay.
I was actually serving on the border in 2019 in the Army. Mm-hmm. That was a stab in the back. I remember that very clearly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The only reason why it makes this really weird little niche here is so that it goes right around Roger Williams' house. Like literally his house is the second or third on the street, and the end of the street is the end of the district. And they did that because for 10 years he lived way outside of the district, and he waited for redistricting to draw him in rather than actually living in a district that he represents.
Okay, we got Johnson, Somerville, Hood County as well, right?
Yes.
Tarrant, part of Arlington.
We have all of this out here, which is very rural. Comanche County, Erath County, with Stephenville, Somerville County. We got all of Hood, and then kind of zigzags its way through Johnson County, and now up through
Arlington to Abilene.
It is a district that goes from Arlington out to Abilene. And then Young County here is the county in Texas with the highest rate of opioid overdoses anywhere in the state. And so we've got... Okay, so what are we doing on the 19th?
We'll be at Aledo and Arlington.
Okay. So Greg wanted to do the show on the 19th.
I think the 26th would work better.
All
We'll
right.
be after the tour, wrap up, talking about bonds.
Yeah. Let's go on the show on the 26th. I'll shoot him a text.
Perfect.
And we'll get it done.
I'll make sure we're on time.
Thank you, Sean. Have you gotten in touch with Sarah about tomorrow in Eastland County?
I sent her a text and see if we got a response.
Okay. We need to have her set up tours, people to talk to. We need to make the best use of our time because, you know, Sean, you know better than anybody that we're dealing with limited resources here. The thing we have at our disposal is we're actually willing to go places. We're actually willing to talk to people.
Yeah, talk to Americans.
Yeah. Very much to everyone for coming out. I'd be very remiss if I didn't thank our hosts, Melissa and Ron Pugh. Thank you very much for hosting all of us here in your lovely bed and breakfast. And thank you all for being so gracious since we met, and for praying over this campaign and especially over our community and our country.
Amen.
There's no greater thing that we can be doing than to ask God to intercede and to help our community.
Right.
And so, if we can just give them a big round of applause for putting this on.
He's at the Creation Evidence Museum, the director.
Pleasure to meet you, John.
Pleasure to meet you. What, I understand you went to a private Christian school?
I went to SMU for my undergrad,
Okay.
and then I was homeschooled my entire life up to that.
You're on the right track.
But as I was wrapping up my master's, a close friend of mine actually passed away to a fentanyl overdose. She had been prescribed pills after a soccer injury and had been cut off after 7 days because Congress decided back in 2008 and 2009 that they knew better than doctors. And so she wasn't able to get the pills that she needed to manage her pain. So she started borrowing from friends and family, and when she ran out, she started ordering off of the internet, basically Instagram and Snapchat. And one night she took a pill that was laced with a deadly amount of fentanyl, and she didn't wake up the next morning. When that happened, I knew that I had to leave my job as a systems engineer and work on something more meaningful. So I started a company that's developing devices that can manage people's pain without them getting addicted to the prescription pills. You know, I think the vast majority of us easily say that Washington, D.C. is forgotten about it, doesn't seem to care a lick about regular folks, you know, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or whether you're trying to run a small business. Very true.
Absolutely. Right on. To run for president? No.
Oh, no, bad.
I'm just kidding. You're almost there. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's good. We need to get some recognition in this part, especially this part of Texas. It's bad.
I am running because we are sick and tired of our children being poisoned by deadly fentanyl that's coming across the southern border, that those that we send to Washington, D.C. refuse to secure. They refuse to take care of us here in our communities, and they refuse to talk to us. This 12-day tour across the district is not just about me. It's not. It's about really all of us coming together and taking a stand that we, the people, together are taking our country back.
What do you have there, Matthew?
I have a sign for this first 5K.
Look at that. Yeah, you.
Well, too cool. Honestly, I'm scared anybody that would want a job that required a vote.
No kidding. But, you know, my wife,
Hi, nice to meet
Judy.
you. Judy. Marsha, it's nice to meet you. Get what you like, Republican chairperson.
Here's Matthew Lucci. I'm for Congress in this district. All of Palo Pinto County and parts of Parker. All the above.
Okay, you'll be filing to challenge Roger Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We jumped in the race back in April. We've been going all over.
I'm Stacy Choate. Nice to meet you.
Everybody is doing their own design. This is what they want to know. This is a reproduction. I found the original Einstein, and he said, you know, we're here to help museums too. We're making money, but we want to help them too. And we took this one money, and he told me buddies and Alice to let's and he had
Did you guys see your petitions?
We got quite a few over there.
That's good.
You know, we're trying to get them from all across the district, and you know, that includes Comanche County, that includes Eastland, Callahan, all
Yeah.
those.
Just stop in the sale barn and tell them you're a Republican. That'll help.
It helps, yeah. Like, oh, okay.
What do you want me to sign?
Hey there, buddy. How about that national debt, huh? Why you keep voting to send our money overseas, take it out of small businesses? Is that you? I grew up on 67, but I live in Arlington now.
Okay. Well, I lived in Arlington and taught in Arlington for many years, so
What'd
it's a
you teach?
special place, home economics.
Okay.
At Bowie and Sam Houston High School.
I know exactly what that is.
So.
Arlington y Dublin y Stephenville y Callahan.
Sí, es un poquito confuso.
Es muy grande.
Sí.
Es un distrito muy grande.
Bastante grande.
Hay 13 counties en el distrito. Incluye este county, Erath y Comanche, y Somerville y Johnson y Hood y un parte de Parker y un parte de Tarrant y Young y Jack y Callahan y Stevens y Eastland. Hay 13.
13 distritos.
Sí, 13 counties en el distrito.
Es un wow.
Sí, muy grande.
Yeah.
Doing a 12-day tour across the district, going to all 13 counties in the new 25th congressional district. and trying to stop into as many small town shops, museums, things like that as possible.
All right. So is this state or national?
This is national.
Okay.
U.S. House District 25.
All right.
And so I was just talking to her when we walked in about how long the museum's been open and how long have you all had this building.
Oh, well, the deal is the museum started in August of 1970, the Historical Society. So we've been around over 50 years. But we outgrew the museum that we had down the street, and so they bought this building, and it opened, we bought it in
block walking here in Granbury, and the one big observation that I have is that folks are just mad that Roger Williams has voted against the border wall and that he hasn't really done anything for this district or for this country since he's been elected. They're all talking to me saying, yes, it's time for change. Yes, it's time for new blood. It's time we actually have someone in office who cares and is actually going to do something, someone with some fire in their eyes, who will actually fight against the establishment in Washington, D.C., because they know, as well as I know, that the establishment in D.C. is not working for us.
We're here right behind the Babes in Granbury. We've been knocking on doors all day, talking to voters all day, meeting with law enforcement, going on local radio shows. And the one thing that is the big takeaway from Granbury, and continues to be, is that folks feel just as abandoned by their government here in Hood County, in Granbury, than they do out in Callahan and in Eastland, and in Stevens County, and in Comanche.
Today, we're hopefully, Matthew and I will be able to discuss ways that he can possibly improve the life of me as a veteran and also everybody out there in Johnson County.
We do have a lot of traction in Young County. We got an article coming out on the Enterprise. Could somebody grab that real quick? And then Jack County, that's trending quite heavily in our direction. I mean, we've been talking to sheriffs all over the district. Got a lot of volunteers out of Tarleton. Who's leading our volunteers in Tarleton?
Gavin's the deputy out there. We got Turning Point USA, several of the fraternities.
Okay, we also have Turning Point USA working for us at UTA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do some sort of, it's called like knocking doors and eating s'mores event or something like that.
Yeah, get young Republicans involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Tarleton is a lot more conservative than UTA is.
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of volunteers in both areas. Well, I live in Arlington with my wife.
Okay, Arlington, so it's down in that way, is that what you're saying, where you're from, is close to Arlington?
Yeah, kind of in that area.
Well, I'm not familiar with that. So what made you, well, Gina will get that. She's my editor, so that's fine. Good to see y'all.
Let me give you my card.
Sure.
Feel free to reach out anytime. And thank
so
you very much.
This is the area, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It stretches from Young County all the way out to Tarrant.
Okay, now who has this now? Is this
Roger Williams?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Remember we were just talking about him?
Yes. Haven't seen him in a while.
I don't think many of us have.
They-
Anybody is. How you get promised over and over and over again by people who want to be career politicians, and then they go in there and they do absolutely nothing. They got your vote by saying the right thing and doing the right thing come election time, and then after that they're gone. They're in DC or in Austin, and they are not actually doing anything. Now, over the last 3.5 years, since I lost a close friend to an opioid overdose, I've dedicated my life to addressing the opioid crisis in this country. And that is, it's threefold. One, there's a demand side. We have to cut down on people getting addicted to begin with. There's a supply side. We have to make sure that these drugs aren't being manufactured overseas and being brought into this country. And then there's that supply chain part of everything in between, which includes securing the border. And as someone who's dedicated my life to addressing this issue before I even got into the political realm, so in order to make that happen and grow that company, I moved into my car for 2 years so that every spare dollar could go toward building that company, advancing that technology, and preventing people from getting addicted to their pain medications.
His average donation is going to be above $2,000 from individuals.
So it's mostly wealthy corporate donors who are throwing money
Without
away.
a doubt, I could absolutely document that. Yeah.
And where does he spend his money? I know we've talked about this before, but where's his money going?
Sure. His money goes right back into the machine. It goes right back to the consultants that raised it for him, which makes me wonder what the purpose of the whole goddamn thing is. It does not, he gets to keep some of it, just like any money launderer would. You get to keep a good cut as your fee for doing it, but after he pumps money out to consultants, which is by far and away his biggest expense, then he pumps money out to his fundraising activities, and so that's another way of getting it to consultants. And then he pumps after that he pumps money out into his lifestyle. He eats well. We can go over the average meals, the average amount of his meal ticket. I can absolutely do that.
I mean, I've seen $600 steak dinners, like 3 of them on the same day in DC. This is a battle for the soul of America. This is not just left versus right. This is about establishment versus the rest of us. The future of the Republican Party and the future of our country is at stake. It is harder than ever to keep food on the table, gas in the tank, and a roof over our heads. The border is wide open. Drugs are flooding into our community and killing our children. And our children are being trafficked while the DC establishment turns a blind eye because their donors tell them to. Enough is enough. We will not be sold out to the highest bidder. We will not back down when the establishment slanders our name, and we will not give up, because this is about more than politics. This is about our very lives. On March 5th, the people of Texas have a choice to give the establishment another 2 years of inaction while life gets harder for us at home, or a choice to embrace young conservatives as the future of this country and return America to that shining city on a hill. Politics as usual is not working anymore. It is time to embrace the next generation of bold leadership. And it is time for us together to take our country back. We don't need DC's money. We don't want DC's money. But we do need your help. We need enough to keep gas in the tank so we can go around the entire district, not just one time, not just 2 times, but to continue to go to every single one of the 13 counties in the 25th congressional district, to meet voters where they are, to put literature directly in their hands, to have our volunteers reach out to voters via phone, via email, and at their door. If you could spare $1, $5, or $10 to help us keep this campaign going, to keep this momentum going throughout the 25th congressional district, we can fight back against Washington, D.C. We can tell them, no, D.C., you do not get to select a rich D.C. establishment oligarch to rule us. We are going to elect one of our own this time. Help us out, and let's take our country back.